and that's how you properly maintain a radish farm. Oh, hello, and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast with me, your host, Santa, if you will, because I've got jingly balls. Sorry, wrong type of podcast. With me tonight, we have James. Are we with James?
I'm all right.
For the
I'm
audio
all right.
listeners there, he was
We'll
waving
leave
as
it at
well. And our guest tonight is indeed Chris Pratt himself, body double, Jay Cat. Hey!
I'm not rocking the Chris Pratt look at the moment, but I'll bring it back for you guys at some point.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Just there, off air, James. What did you say to Jay there, James?
What's that?
So, what did you say to Jay off air about his appearance?
He looks different. He looks different every time I see him. He looks like a biker today.
That's it.
Yeah. Every time he comes on the podcast, he changes. He metamorphosizes into some sort of space Viking, like one of the Reapers from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I just keep changing the look. They can't catch me. I don't go into a McDonald's anymore.
Oh, political stuff. We're on edge all the time.
It's like split.
Yeah, which Jay's turned up tonight. Kev will be with us shortly. He's currently stuck in traffic from coming home from the North Pole somewhere. But first and foremost, Jay, welcome back. Are you in the festive spirit?
Well, sort of. I've got my Rudolph earring in with his little red nose.
Is that the correct ear?
Ooh.
As they used to say back in the day. Is it the correct ear you've got that earring in?
I only have one that's pierced, so I hope so.
Okay, that's fair enough. Have you got any hidden piercings?
Confirm which side it is. You can't tell.
Yeah, James, do you have any hidden piercings or anything we should know about on your body?
That would be revealing, wouldn't it?
Well, if you do reveal it, we can then put it on OnlyFans.
Years ago, but no.
I have a Prince Albert.
I'm so delayed. It's lovely.
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
really. I don't. He won't help us. Anyway, what kind of podcast is this? Let's talk about football. Welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast. Before you do anything, please do smash that like, and if you don't, subscribe. What are you doing? It's Christmas. Treat us. You know what I mean?
Do it.
And if you do, you might be in a chance with winning a mince pie. And if you don't like mince pies, give it to me. I do. Right then, let's talk about the Derby County performance. The return of Derby to our shores. The last time they left us a little present, Jay, in the changing rooms. And, it was, as we've heard from Jayden Bogle's memoirs, James, we know what went on there. But yeah, Jay, what did you think overall to that Derby performance?
So I got a lot of crap for initially saying in the Peacock after that I thought it were quite boring. And I sort of said a few days later in hindsight, after I had a bit of time to think about it, it wasn't so much it were boring. It was just the complete lack of jeopardy. There was no threat from Derby at all. And it's for me, it takes a bit of excitement out of the game. There was never a point when I felt that we were in any danger from them at all. I were more worried that we weren't going to score initially because I thought we were just going to have one of those days. But we did everything that we needed to do. We did everything to a good level. Everyone did their jobs. Nothing to complain about, really. It's like they said something on, I think it was Square Ball earlier, the one that they brought out today. Something about it feels business-like this season, and I'd agree with that. It does. It feels very much like that. Like there's a specific job to do. You go out, you do it. No messing about. Get it done, and that's it. And games like that, for me, if we get us promoted, listen, I'll look back with fond memories and I'll say, yeah, we did everything we needed to do. But at times watching them, they're quite hard because I just want a bit more intensity. I want a bit more danger, I suppose, where it feels like we're overcoming something rather than we're just going through a process.
So you want to feel that excitement during a game rather than, this is just a bit, going through the motions of a routine win.
Pretty much, but don't get me wrong. I'll take the routine wins all day long if we get the 3 points. It's just, if I could choose to get 3 points either way and choose the type of game, it would be more like the Borough game.
Yeah, but I think that's a different sort of set of mentalities and game plans, isn't it? Because we'll talk about Borough, but I think Borough came to play as Derby.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the problem with teams like Derby, though.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. 100%. James, what about you, mate? What did you think to not Frank Lampard's Derby County?
I thought they were shit, like a lot of other teams this season, unfortunately. Coming to Ellen Road. I mean, I don't want to keep saying it every week, but we're just sort of too good for these sort of teams. Obviously, we'll talk about Middlesbrough later, but the Derby game, yeah, it was. I'm happy to just knock off these little routine wins and have no jeopardy and save the legs for the rest of the season. I'm good with that happening as long as Jay says we do win these games and we're not like dragging out these 0-0s. But winning these easy games, I don't give a shit, mate. I'm happy to just knock them off, save our legs for the run-in.
Yeah, but these are games we should be winning against teams like, Derby did have a good team years ago. Look at them now, they're struggling.
We did win.
Yeah, but these are the sort of teams we should be, like look at Portsmouth. We were favourites to beat them, but they came back and, we were 3-3. But you look at paper. I'm not one of those fans that, yeah, we should have done if Aronson would have had his scoring boots on. Anyway, let's not
criticize him anymore.
It was the repeat of the Swansea game, weren't it? Just we didn't score at the end. That was it.
Yeah. Just, bar the last 5 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're going through. Let's go through the goal then. Jay, I actually put a meme out with. For those that haven't seen it, it was a picture of Rodon, but instead of the top of his head, I put a 50p piece because he just missed. I think the chance before was more clear cut than the goal that he actually scored. So when he missed I was like, right, that's going out there. And lo and behold, Luke from your podcast actually tweeted me and said, "Do it again, tweet it again." So I definitely tempted fate, but it should. I mean, I thought it were harder to score the actual goal than it was the chance before. Jay, what about you, mate? I mean, it was a good goal to get his second career goal, I think it is.
Yeah, and his first one in England, so it was a bit of an occasion for the lad. But yeah, I agree with what you say. I think the other chance was an easier chance, whereas the one that he did score looked like it was going to get potentially saved. It went through a harder little path through bodies to get to the back of the net. The other one was it were pretty much an open chance for him. So, it was disappointing that he missed that first one, but the fact that he kept his head up and he went again and he scored just tells you all about him really and his character for me.
Yeah, he's always got that like slapped ass face, when he's running back when he's missed the header, like a proper ripped nail from bottom, like
when you did cross country running at school and teacher would tell you to speed up and you were knackered.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then you'd see all the cool kids having a fag in the bushes like that.
You'd pull your Rodon face.
Yeah, absolute Rodon face. Or when you step on a sharp bit of Lego, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
What about you, James, mate? Happy for him to get his first goal for Leeds? Are you a bit behind?
You went really quiet. Sorry, my internet's a bit shit.
I've just said, are you happy for him?
Yeah, I've gone back in time today. This is a back in time. I am happy, mate. I said it to you on Sunday, didn't I? I think he's so well adept at clearing chances and defending goals that he also defends their goal when he's in their box. But he gets onto the end of quite a lot of crosses, doesn't he? And I think maybe getting that one goal for him might open up a little bit of a pathway for him to score some goals with both him and Strauch as well. Maybe getting in some goals. It adds another dimension to us. Like set pieces was never a thing for Leeds for the past God knows how many years, but now it seems to be a thing that we can score from, or great chances from at least. And we've got Rothwell pinging in some great balls, so we might see a few more goals from old Rothwell if he's not crying and whinging. His face is all like, so we'll see.
Rodon
face.
Do you mean Rodon? You said Rothwell. By the way, you look a bit like Rothwell.
No, Rothwell's ball.
Now
Rothwell's ball into his
Oh,
into
right.
his box. I mean, I'm sorry.
You look a bit like Rothwell, from this angle.
He's got a bit of that look about him, hasn't
Yeah, I think he could ping a ball.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I could ping
Yeah.
a ball, yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about Rothwell. Sounded like a Rottweiler then. What did we call him? Rockweller the other day? I can't
Rottweiler.
remember.
Joe
Yeah, that was
Rottweiler.
it. Joe Rottweiler, that was it. Yeah, he is. He's having a really good season for us, in my opinion. I remember certain people writing him off before he even kicked a ball. Gilly, I'm looking at you. James just touched on it
taking
there.
the task this week, Gilly, isn't
he? Yeah. He's got receipts. I'm not happy with him because, with Rocket League, I'm not happy about that. But anyway, tell us about your opinions on Joe Rothwell so far, mate.
Me or James?
Jay.
Okay.
That me or him?
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault the lad. I wouldn't have picked him as my first choice starting midfielder. I don't think anybody would have, but certainly can't fault the job he's done. He's slotted in there perfectly with Tanaka. They've formed a partnership pretty much from the off, and they seem to understand each other and know what the other's doing. They cover each other well, and he likes to drive with the ball, Rothwell, and we've missed that for a while. It's nice to see in a Leeds team. I'd like to see him get a couple more goals. I like that he likes to have a crack now and then, stuff like that. And he works really, really hard. He's had the odd bad game, but on the whole, he's pretty bloody good. I don't think you can fault him. Yeah. I don't think you could ask more of him.
No, I think he's really stepped up and smashed people's expectations, if I'm being honest with you. And he's got a full head of hair and beard, and he looks like he could be in a L'Oreal advert.
So
James,
he's another guy that you hate.
Yes, well, it's not. I don't hate him. I just dislike him because of his hair. I'm folliculist. Is that a thing? Is that a word? Have I just made that?
Probably is.
Folliculist. James, going back to the game, then this is the momentum graph from the game. Obviously, that's just pure domination there. And as you can tell there, by the second green ball, we scored a few moments later. Voba, of all people, mate. I mean, was that a surprise to you? Because I know you put in the WhatsApp group. Oh, James is gone.
Oh,
he's gone. We'll come back.
Much.
No, yeah. I'll come to you then, Jay. Voba, of all people.
What a guy!
I know. He's, especially, we'll talk about him in a bit further in the Borough game. But
we will.
What do you think about Voba scoring of all things?
I mean, it were a great finish. It showed Pirro how to go on.
He did, mate. He can run that line, can't he?
He can. It's weird because he's not somebody that you think of as a dynamic fullback type of player. In my mind, he's more like a strike type of fullback, which is not much of a fullback. I don't really like the guy still. I mean,
You're scarred, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I find it harder to forgive because of him saying that he were going to stay and then going. I'd rather he's just not said anything. So I'm still a little bit bitter about that, I suppose. So I can't jump up and down in the air about him scoring and doing well, but I'm obviously pleased to see him score, and I'm pleased to see anybody score for Leeds, and I'll back him on the pitch. So if he keeps doing it and he keeps putting the performances in, then he might win some of us back round. Who knows? I guess it depends what happens between now and the end of January, really.
Yeah, if he's still, I'll be surprised. If I'm being honest, I think we'll touch on it in a little bit, but I'll be so very surprised if he's still here by end of January. I do think he's still vying for that move, and I think he's just trying to get his like sort of awareness of other agents and clubs out there, to, playing a few good games. That's just my opinion, because I don't like you, Jay. I'm still a bit scarred from when he said, "I'm here." That's it. Did all the promo kit fitting photos and stuff, and then just left a week later. So I don't know. And apparently, according to some news outlets, that him and his agent and Leeds are still in contact, fighting over a fee. But James, what's your thoughts on Voba scoring for us, mate? Obviously, happy for the lad. I know you put something in the WhatsApp group, didn't you? That you're like, bloody hell, it's the Austrian Bamford.
we touched on, didn't we? Like, if he's playing for a move away or if he's playing for us, as long as he's playing good, I don't care. Firpo's injury might play a part into him staying, maybe. I think if he gets a run of games and he's playing well, I mean, I don't see us wanting to get rid of him. Maybe at the end of the season. I think the last season when he went, there was obviously the European finals coming, and maybe he was looking ahead of that and going, playing the Championship with Leeds or go to wherever he went to get into that Austrian team, just so he could score that own goal against France. But yeah, I'm happy for him to play for us as long as he's playing good and he's not doing them own goals. But yeah, we'll see, mate. It's one of them, innit? It's like he could come or go. But the Firpo injury is interesting, isn't it? Really. So see how that unfolds.
That's one word for it.
You big Austrian twat.
Yeah, and that's what half of Europe said at one point in the 20th century. Anyway, moving on swiftly before I get cancelled for saying some stuff like that. Was overall it was a routine 2-0 win for Leeds United, and I'm glad we actually beat them because I thought they were particularly poor. They just seemed to just lump it forward. But yeah, any standouts for you, Jay? Bar the usual,
my
I
mind
suppose.
goes completely blank looking 2 games back. I think Rothwell had a good game in that one, so I'll probably go with him. I think Rodon was the obvious one. I think he got the official one, didn't he? But I'll give it to Rothwell.
Yeah. What about you, James? Any last minute comments on the game? If you want to bring up before we move on.
I mean, when we spoke about it on Sunday, we couldn't really highlight any sort of amazing. Yeah, it was standard. Like we didn't get out of second gear. We did enough to win the game. No amazing players. I'll go Rodon. Yeah, Rodon scoring his first goal. I'll give him the little nod.
Yeah. Just like he did to the ball. Just right quick before we move on, Claire Oxenham, welcome to the show. I think he may have his sights on the Prem next season with us. If we weren't playing as well as we are, I think he would be going. I get your point there, Claire. It's I think he's just hurt a lot of fans because he sort of came out and said one thing and then he'd left at the first opportunity he could. And when he was saying these things, it's just my speculation here that he could have been edging for that move anyway. But yeah, I get your point there. Right then, let's move on to guess the player. This week's segment. It's either it's 50-50. You get it wrong or you don't get it right. Either way, I win. So let's get into this week's guess the player. Are we feeling confident first of all, Jay?
Oh, I'm not sure, mate. They're always a bit tricky, these.
Always a bit tricky is what a lot of people say. Even me, even I don't know who is. I'm a producer. James, you feeling confident this week for guess the player?
No.
Right. Okay. Well, there we go. Right, so this is this week's guess the player. Now, this American hates Germans, and he's had some run-ins with some corrupt police officers in the past as well. And whatever you tell him, he says it's not a Christmas movie, and he absolutely hates it when people bring it up. Any guesses from you, Jay Cartier? By the bewilderment on your face, I'm assuming that hamster stopped running in that cage.
My brain's crashed. Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, right? That's fair. That's fair. What about you, James?
I didn't actually see it because, as you know, my internet's shit. So I'm just gonna say,
that's right. I'll leave it there.
Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees.
Isn't he dead?
That's a good guess.
But then, when does that ever matter? When does that ever matter on this podcast? Let's go to the comments.
We don't know how old that picture is.
Hans Gruber. Okay. Yeah, Hans Gruber. We've got Kev from Andrea. Bruce Willis from Tom Walton. John McClane. Axel
McLean.
Foley. Axel Foley's a good shout, you know, from Clare.
Aquel Foley. Love Aquel Foley.
That's Crazy Frog. You know, this podcast. So here is what you saw. And it is, in fact, John
Mick Foley.
McClane. Yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay.
Oh, that was obvious.
Please do like and subscribe.
Unbelievable.
I never said it was a good podcast. I said it was a lead podcast. We offended. Yeah. So Mick Foley, as in mankind, is that right?
This is Foley's baby boy.
Yeah. Or Dude Love. Or Dude Love.
Yes.
Dude love
Cactus Jack.
Yeah. Right then, let's move on to the main body of this podcast, I suppose. Borough. What a game it was! It had everything. 3 goals from us and an own goal from Voba. Jake Cartier, was you
All
at the game?
goals.
I was.
Or did you just not? Did you not watch it? Or
I didn't know what was going on there. I was just like James do his thing because on like a time delay or something. I didn't know if they were.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry about
that.
Watch
yeah, I
one
went to
then.
the game. Yeah.
Tell us about what you saw and how you felt.
I felt refreshed, mate, because I was early for a change. I didn't get there as it was kicking off. I got there about 20 minutes beforehand and was able to luxuriate with a pint. Got myself a pie, everything. I treated myself. It were proper.
Like a true Yorkshireman. Got me sent a pie. I was there early. Ooh,
it was great. It were. I felt like one of the tourists, getting early, get a pie, get a pint. But no, it were great. To be fair, it was just a good game. We started off well. We looked dangerous, kind of from the off. We had that sort of 20-minute period where we let them back in. They scored, and I will admit there was an element during that where I thought it's going to be one of them games, isn't it? We're going to lose this. We're going to actually lose this after starting well. And we're all going to walk out of here in a bad mood. Old Farker House is going to start again. Everyone's going to be seething. And I was just getting the dark clouds coming. And then we scored and took the lead again. And it all lifted. It was wonderful. It was like being visited by Santa Claus himself when I'm naked in my bathroom,
That's a different type of podcast. You can get exclusive content to that on his channel.
But no, it were great. It was just a good game. We had the shit period, but we came back. We took control again, and then we really drove it home with the 3rd goal. And I got the prediction right too. And we kind of, aside from that one period, again we looked the better team. It was just that 20 minutes or so we looked poor, but the fact that we did that, then got our act together again, then got back on top, and then went on to get another one. That there's so much positivity, if I could say it, in that. And it was just because they did have a threat, they did, pose a danger to us. It was just so much better than the Derby game. And it feels like you've achieved something when you beat a team that could hurt you, rather than just going about your business when you beat a routine crap team like Derby, So it was just it were a great game for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't watch it live as I were at work, so I was listening through the wireless.
Sort your priorities out, mate. Unbelievable.
I know. How dare I earn money? Physical labour in the fields.
Quit your job.
I know. Yeah, I should just quit for 90 minutes in it. You know what I mean? Just stop working. Stop using heavy machine. Anyway, James,
I'm going on strike.
On strike, he was playing centre back, mate.
You might get done for that.
Go on then, James. How did you feel after
my
seeing
thoughts
that game,
of this game? My thoughts of this game. It's funny that now, because of pretty much how dominant we are in most games, that when a team actually tries against us, we get a bit scared and we're like, oh, they might beat us. And I'm like, I was never worried about them. To be honest, I thought Melier did well, made some good little saves. That one when he come out to that dude and stopped there was pretty good. Weren't too happy about his positioning for the own goal, by the way. What the hell was he doing?
Melier.
Yeah.
Just been Melier, that's called.
Yeah.
So what was it? Where was he going? But no, I never worried.
Look better than their keeper, though.
Never worried at
Oh
all,
my
mate.
God, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Dan James, what a little player he is turning into. I'm really happy with him at the moment.
Oh,
That
we'll
second goal
talk
was
about
great. Such a good goal.
We'll talk about the individual players in a moment. James, what did you like the first goal?
Yeah.
It's sort of like on the floor. It's unlucky by Joseph because for me, Joseph makes the right run, towards the front post. He takes a nick off Clark, who's horrendous, by the way. And if you remember Clark, didn't he score when half our team were pissed and we played Derby away at Pride Park, and Clark scored that own goal, didn't he? Our third goal, and he was an absolute calamity. And how he's playing for Borough, I have no idea. But he gets a touch on it, and then somehow their keeper flaps at it, kicks it against Nonto, and it goes in. If that's Melier, honestly, there's voodoo dolls in people's houses poking pins in it with Melier's face on. I mean, how did you react to that goal, James? Apart from going, yay!
Me, I love scoring. I love scoring shit goals. I love it that we get these crap deflected, bouncing around the box. The keeper kicks it off Nonto. I love these goals. I love that we score these goals because we need them because we don't really get a lot of luck playing for Leeds, being Leeds fans. So when we get the luck, I'm like, I celebrate it just a little bit more. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking.
It's like you're shithousing them at the same time. It's great.
Yeah. So
yeah,
really happy with that goal, mate.
What about you, Jay?
I almost liked it as much as James. To be honest with
you. Which one? Sorry.
The Nonto one. Could you believe our luck?
Oh, mate, I was well happy. That never happens for us. So when you do see it happen, it's just like, finally, something going our way, It's just, just happy times. Jumped up and down, trashed my shins on backs of seats in front of me, as you do. Just good times. I love it. Like James says, shit goals are ace because they rile up the opposition fans even more. And they were trying to give us some with the Middlesbrough fans, So it were nice to be able to shut them up a bit.
Did you see AJT?
I did not, mate. I did not. But I hope someone threw a pound coin at his belly if they did.
I was just, you've nicked my joke.
Great man.
Yeah, great minds and all that. Sean, I have to take a moment to praise Sean.
It's pound coin lost if they did.
A mistake. They would call it a mistake. I like you. I'm a fan of your work, Sean. I'm a fan of your work. I love a good pun. Talking about shithousing and a bit of jeopardy, well then done, Jay.
Well done.
I'm sure it's at 1-0 or maybe 1-1, but there's a penalty shout for Middlesbrough. Have you seen it back? I think he's playing on it, but it's that cliche of we've seen him given where Rodon is not watching the defender, he's ball watching. He's going to kick the ball. The Middlesbrough player's put his foot in front of Rodon. He's not much power in the kick, but he's realised contact's been made as a Borough player. He's then hopped on the same foot, and then the theatrics have come in. What do you think to that, mate? Are we fortunate? Was it right call, or were the footballing gods on our side?
I think probably a little bit fortunate, but it would have been a soft one. It's one of those that's right on the line. Like, some refs will give that and some won't, and you could kind of argue either way against it. I think it would have been soft as a penalty, very, very soft, and I would have been gutted to see it given. So I'm glad that it wasn't, but I can kind of see why some might think we're fortunate, or that some refs might have given it.
Yeah, I think a lot of refs would have given it, if I'm being honest with you.
I think so.
James, have you seen the penalty shout? Just waiting for. Can you hear me, James?
You're waiting for me to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bar is very low.
Is it like two tins and a piece of string?
It doesn't take a lot. I'm just gonna talk to myself. Fuck it. I've actually gone onto my phone now to try and get a bit of internet, but this is fucking shit as well. Yeah, the bar's very low for penalties nowadays, ain't it? Premier League, that's a penalty all day long. VAR would have looked at it and went, yeah, he's kicked him. But I don't think it's a penalty because I don't think the contact makes him go down. I think, like you say, he's felt the contact, took a step and went, oh, I've been touched, I better go down, and he's sort of then went down. It is a penalty in today's standards, but in my standards, it would have been really, really soft.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you could tell he was playing for it because he got straight up and ran because we were on the counter at that point, and then he got back up, did the old road on face, and then ran back into midfield. So we'll talk about the own goal. I think it's just Vobus trying to do the right thing. He's trying to clear the ball. But as for Millier, I think he gets held by the striker. The striker's done his job by marking him. I can see you disagreeing. For the audio listeners out there, James is shaking his head rather vigorously. James, talk us through what you think Millier should be doing, man. James, I think he's gone. I think
stronger. Oh, fuck's sake! I'm talking, but you just can't hear me.
No, sorry, mate.
Yes.
All I heard then was arse.
This has been a technological delight tonight. It's made us look professional, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. It's so good. It's just my internet. It's crap. I think Melier should be stronger there. Very stronger. But you have to say, Max Vobad doing what he does best, banging in an own goal. So, you can't stop them. You can't stop them. Even if Melier's in goal, it would have powered past them, mate. So,
yeah, it's a great finish. It's a great finish.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. He should be, but I think that their striker does. He does well, in my opinion, Jay. The striker's obstructing him, so Millier can't get there. So I think. Well, I am having it because I think he should. He should. If he's not impaired there, I think he gets that and he saves it or even catches it. What's your thoughts, Jay? Should I have it or not have it?
I'm a little bit in the middle with this one because, like, I can see what you're saying. Jesus, I can see what you're saying, and there's some merit to that. But at the same time, it's a 6'4" bloke. He shouldn't be getting held by somebody online. He should be shoving him out of the way and getting to where he needs to get to. But it's easier said than done. I think it's a little bit of him, a little bit of them doing a job on him. Yeah, I'm not gonna go in on him for this one. And trust me, I'm happy going on him when he fucks up. But like some of his distribution, he should be shot for that. Like, I watched the back end of the West Brom Sheffield United game the other night, and their keeper, the Sheffield United keeper, when West Brom were coming at him later on, he was still pinging balls to his own players, even under pressure from an attacking player. He was getting balls to his own players.
He's a great keeper, that Cooper.
But Millier can't get a ball to his own players when he's not under pressure. Why can't he kick a ball?
It's Millier, isn't it? It's one of them things.
His confidence
been shot since Bournemouth away.
It makes me want to kill him sometimes. He drives him at the wall.
Just for legal purposes, we do not condone the murder of Ilya Millier. We're just saying, have we thought about it? Yeah. Will we act on it? Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, I mean,
time will tell.
Yeah, I love all the fact you went. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, see? Nah. Come here, my town. You mess with me, see? Nah. I love how you just went, Jay. You went, no, you can't blame him for it. No. However, his distribution.
No, I don't really blame him for the goal so much. It's the distribution that I blame him for. We'll talk about a great header. It's just unfortunate it went where it went.
Yeah, it is. For me, it's one of them where he's gone to do the right thing. It hit him on top of his head, skimmed, and it's gone in the net. It's unfortunate, but we move on. Thankfully, we won the game. If you've not already seen, please pause now. So we'll talk about Dan James, and how I want you to talk to me about his miss 5 minutes before and his actual goal. I'll come to you, Jay, because James seems to have the Starlink seems to have frozen. James is actually in the Ukraine at the minute. Is James? That's probably the reason why. Jay, talk to me about. He shouldn't be missing that first one, should he?
Do you know what? I've completely forgotten what the miss was. It's completely.
It was Tanaka across the face of goal, and then he goes for the placement rather than the thunder bastard. He should have.
I've completely lost it. It's gone. It's gone from my head. I could tell you about the goal because that's ingrained, but
talk to me about the
completely gone.
It's great content, isn't it?
I've not watched any highlights since like the day after the game. To be fair.
No, you're right, mate. Just talk us through the goal, because I tell you what, some finish that one.
Yeah, the goal was just beautiful. The goal was beautiful. It were a little bit audacious, a bit cheeky. I liked it. I like the confidence that he's got when he's doing stuff like that, and I like that we've scored a few nice sort of goals like that. We had another lob, didn't we? Like last week. Was it him again? Was it Dan James again?
Dan James, yeah, against Blue.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Can't fault it. It was a cracking goal. I love the fact that, ironically, he's scoring the kind of goals that Bielsa wanted him to score when he was putting him as his number 9, and he's doing that now when he gets a chance. And he seems to generally make the right choice between whether to go himself or whether to pass it. The majority of the time, does Dan James, I think, and he usually does seem to score when he goes for it. So I would say that his decision making is pretty bloody good as far as that goes, and it was just a great goal. He's doing well at the moment. He's had the odd quiet game, but by and large, he's been a bloody important player this season for us. He's somebody last season really, yeah, he was. He's somebody we'd really miss if he was out for a period, like really miss. So yeah, a great goal from a guy who's playing some good football and looks like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, no, I generally there's a conversation to be had where maybe it's just his natural progression, James. But do you think he's improved a lot more under Farker? I mean, look at his finishing, for instance. Some of the goals he scored the past 2 seasons. Can you hear me, James?
Yeah,
Nope.
sort of.
Right. All right. Okay. Go on then.
Sort of here. Just let's just power through it, mate, because it's doing my nutting.
Right. Okay. I'll ask Jay the question then. What I just said to you.
What that is getting better. He's finishing.
So just go.
Better and stuff. Are you going for it, mate? Are you going for it?
I was going to say to just leave because I'm literally just in a different dimension.
It's up to you, mate. It's up to you.
In a different galaxy.
Dan James scored a great goal. Byram did a great tackle. It was a fantastic tackle. Fuck off.
But yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think your internet's a bit too far behind. Do you want to close down and come back on?
Sure.
Right, Jay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Jay. Let's talk about Dan James, right, and his progression naturally. I think he's improved under Farker. I mean, you look at the inside training video where he scored that screamer. Yeah, he's training, but it's the technique as well. And he scored the lob against Luton. I think naturally, he's progressing well. And that thunder bastard that he scored on Tuesday night was fucking brilliant. And then he does the celebration, and it's like it's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Like, so do you see Dan James? I mean, I think he has a ceiling. It's not as high as Joseph's, in my opinion, because we need to talk about that. Because we need to talk about Byram as well. But
okay,
what do you think?
I think Byram's really reached his ceiling, mate.
Yeah. I think he's on the roof, mate. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be Rod Hull doing his TV aerial soon.
Is
Dan James, I think, I think a big part of it for him is he's kind of gone from being an option in the squad to a really important member of the team. He's got a lot more responsibility placed on his shoulders now, and he seems to be thriving off it. And like I said before, he's now scoring goals, the kind of thing that Bielsa wanted him to do when he had him up front. He'd probably do a better job now if he played up front than he did then. But he's found his sort of position now. He knows his game inside out. He's on top of his game at the moment, and this is probably one of the best spells of his career.
Yeah, and I even thought last season was the best he's probably ever played in professional football. He got X amount of goals, double digits goals and assists. So he's vastly becoming one. He is one of my favourite players, and I know that a lot of other content creators as well have said that he's one of my favourites. Not the favourite because it's one of the. We're in that great predicament now where we don't just have one favourite player. We've got a vast array of them, and and that's really good. Byram, he had a great game.
Yeah.
That bastard tackle as well to set up Pirro to then set up for the goal. Who'd have thought, mate? Who'd have thought that Sam Byram, who's been ravaged with injuries for the past 10 years, 7 or 8 years, he's playing really well.
He is. He's like it's like having a bit of a renaissance, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a resurgence.
He's turned back the clock a little bit. Yeah, he's looking good. He's an absolutely solid squad player. And for me, if people want to sort of compare squads and say, does Byram improve it? Well, who would have been coming on if Byram wasn't here? It would have been Shaq. And I think Byram's a better player than Shaq. I really do. He's done it at the highest level. He's Premier League anyway. He's he knows the club and what it means to play for Leeds, and he knows the kind of responsibility he's got when he wears a shirt. And he's always professional. He always puts in a shift. He's one of those 7 out of 10 every week players for me. Is Byram. He probably won't excel or be dynamically the best sort of attacking fullback you're going to see, but his positional sense is great. He knows where to be. He reads the game well. He's got a lot of experience, which benefits him, and he's just a solid squad player for me. He's one of those people that you're not worried when you see him come in. Like sometimes you get someone brought in when a first choice player's out, and you think, oh God, you don't really think that with Byram. At least I don't. I know that there are certain things that he can't do so well, like he has to come inside to cross on his right foot if he plays left back. He doesn't do the overlaps as good, but the game that he does play is solid and he works hard. He does what he needs to do. He knows where to be. He's contributed to a few goals. Can't fault him. For a guy that were meant to be ready for Glue Factory at one point, if you listen to some people, he's done great.
I agree, mate, with everything you just said, and there's not much more I can sort of elaborate on that with Byram. James, are you ready to talk about Byram?
We'll try.
Give us your thoughts on Byram, mate.
I think Byram is an excellent player, and without his injuries, I think he'd be a starter for us. I think he'd start most games because I think he's reliable. He's a goal threat. He's great at tackling. Probably one of the best one-on-one tacklers I've seen as a fullback wise. Yeah, I think he's just a top player, and he's always been a top player. It's just injuries have just massively let him down in his career. I think he'd probably run a bit higher than what he's done. So yeah, free little player. I think is great for us. I think he's one of our better boys. Well, not a boy, but one of our better like acquisitions in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
For what he's give us.
I don't know if he would start. I think he would be a squad player still. I don't think he's as dynamic as other options.
I think he's better than Bogle. If he's fully fit,
Really?
without his injuries, I think he's. I
Wow, that's a
think he
hot
starts
take.
ahead of Bogle.
Defensively, I'd say. Yeah.
I think he's a
The thing
much
is,
better defender than
Byram.
Bogle. Much
Byram's
better.
a proper fullback.
That's-
Like Bogle's a wing back. Byram's a fullback. That's the difference. He's more defensive sided of the role, and Bogle's more
Yeah.
attacking sided of the role. Like you
Yeah.
say, he does still provide a goal threat. He gets crosses.
Not in
he
this system,
gets
because I
it there
think any.
himself, but-
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and
Yeah.
in this team, we haven't really got any fullbacks because no one stays back apart from Archie Gray, but obviously he's not there. All our even Woba, he's bombing on like a headless chicken. So yeah, I love Bar on me.
Yeah.
He looks
Yeah.
about 12.
Well, we can all. Yeah. Yeah. You know what came up on my feed the other day is when he went to double foot Gareth Bale, and Gareth Bale just like Maradona'd him and sent him for a hot dog. Remember that in the cup? Bloody hell. Like proper studs up off the ground.
Oh,
If
yeah.
it had connected, it'd have been banned for life. Because I think it's when Gareth Bale, like on this, in the ascendancy of his career, and that's yeah, fucking crazy. It got absolutely done. Yeah. So Leeds United came out 3-1 winners in the end with Aronson scoring the third, which was just a tap in, and Tanaka with an unselfish sort of sideways pass. I think if he gets that under control a bit better, Tanaka's scored his first goal, which I think I'll just pop up the momentum graph here. And the first sort of 45, we've got the edge, and then we've got the edge again, and then you can sort of see where the subs happen, where we taper off and we sort of bring on that pressure again. Right. So yeah, more of the same tomorrow, I suppose. Please, it is tomorrow, isn't it? We play. I've just
I'm going.
Yeah,
I should know that.
Oh yeah, what time are you setting off?
Yes.
I've got no idea, mate.
Ooh.
I've got various things to do tomorrow, so maybe quite early.
Well, it's a good job I reminded you.
He's got to change his appearance again for one.
Yeah. We'll move on then. Yeah, so we won 3-1, a lovely 3 points, and on paper it could have been a bit of a speed bump in the road. Right, so we have got last week we had Andrea and Lockie on, and we did something called Top Notch, and it is back by popular demand. But this time Andrea's played the Uno reverse card. So we've got, I couldn't fit all the video on, sorry, Andrea, I couldn't fit it all on. But we have got this message from Andrea.
Good evening, lads. Finally, another part of Top Notch, second episode. And this time you will be the ones judging if Italian things are top notch or not.
So the first sort of thing we need to talk about, is this top notch for you lads? Croissants, and I'm assuming it's a cappuccino, sort of latte drink. Is it top notch for you lads? Because it is for me. I love a good croissant, me. Jay, I'll come to you
latte,
first.
yeah. Not
if it was a pan of chocolate, then yes, but not a croissant. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I suppose. A croissant's fucking French, isn't it? What about you, James?
Yes. The latte, yeah. I'll have a latte. I'll have a caramel latte all day long, but I'm not really a sweet breakfasty type person. Not for me.
No? Oh, I love it, me. That's why I've got like 700 chins. Sorry for Jay, he can grow a beard,
Nah.
you know what I mean? He's got like that Viking thing going on.
I like to hide
I'm
it.
just,
You eat it
if I
then.
do this, I look like a hairy beluga whale. And another thing we need to talk about, Jay, you went on, I don't know if you saw last week's pod, you probably didn't, but I brought up the fact Italian condoms. What do you think? Are they top notch for you?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Nice. And another thing that my good friend Andrea wants us to talk about is Italians winning the cup. And straight away I called him "you bastard" on the thing. So the Italian national team, is it top notch for you? Because it is, isn't it? Come on. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I mean, they're all right. Over the years, they've been
Are you Herbert?
fun to watch at
Jay?
times. I am not. Although you'll never see us in the same room at the same time.
That's true. You're never on the same podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what about you,
You're
James?
never the
mate?
same
You,
person, though, anyway. It doesn't really matter.
That's
That is
true.
true.
It does change. It's like he's in the witness protection program. After every
There
podcast,
are.
he's got to change a bit of his appearance.
That's right. There are 5 of me.
Hopefully, well, that is the only things we can sort of fit on right now. I will be in contact with Andrea with Top Notch. Like, he also
Shut up in
has.
the face.
He also has this. And if anything, if you're going to listen to advice from someone, it's Andrea.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, lads. Top notch. Hey up. Bye bye. Have a nice week, lads.
It's like he's from Yorkshire.
I love
Like
that.
it's from Yorkshire.
Hey up. Bye-bye.
Grazie to our friend Andrea. Now we're going to go on to another little segment for you, Jay. Sole purpose for you. And I hope you like, to clear your throat, because let me find it. First impressions is the name. First impressions is the game. So here we are. James, do you have a challenge for Jay? What is his impression and what is he doing?
Yes, I do. You are Rudy Austin explaining why he slapped Neil Warnock with a pork gammon joint, damaging his left shin, resulting in a £33 fine.
Okay. Yeah, so he told me
An action.
garbage.
Jamaican.
Hey? Okay.
He's Jamaican.
I'm not gonna
Jamaican.
do that, mate, because I'm gonna get ruined.
At least do an American one.
Here, man, I slapped Neil Warnock with a ham joint, man, and I whacked him around the face and I hit him in the shoulder because he had it coming. The tactics were shit.
Right. Okay.
That's
That's great. That's great. Let's move on quickly.
Oh, well done, Rudy.
I'm all in or I'm
I
not.
thought you was in the room with him.
Yeah, that was First Impressions is the name. First Impressions is a fucking game. Thanks for that, Jay.
I feel like I'm gonna regret that.
No, it's all right. I did say American, but Right, we'll talk about Preston and boys. I personally want us to win so much because I want us to get rid of exercise the ghosts from Boxing Day last year. James, we'll start with you, mate. Are you more confident this time round? And it'd be nice to beat them at Christmas, wasn't it?
Yes, I am very confident, as always. I did predict a 5-0 whopping. So let's hope. But we need to get one over old Hecky. Make sure he's without ball for the whole game.
Yeah.
I'm fully
Send him
confident
back
we're
to
gonna
Myanmar.
Yeah, back to my bloody hell. What a time to be a Leeds fan back then.
Oh,
bloody hell.
what time to be Leeds manager?
Oh,
Stranded
I know,
in
yeah.
Myanmar and sacked.
Yeah, but we had Grot.
The Patriots fly out. Yeah, that's true. He looked like
Good
one of their statues over there, doesn't he? Hey, what's your thoughts on the Preston away, buddy?
I'm nervous because it's an away game and I'm now completely averse to them because we seem to suck at them. But I went to Sheffield Wednesday, we won. I missed Blackburn, we lost. I'm going to Preston. Let's see.
We're gonna win.
And if we win, then somebody can get me an away ticket for every game, and I'll go through the sacrifice, and I'll just go.
I was going to say we take one.
I'm needed.
Yeah.
Literally,
That's really good of you, Jay. That is. That's so good of you, mate.
I think so.
That's nice.
And also,
nice.
the only home game we've lost, Burnley. It was at home, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was on holiday.
It was.
The only one I've not
Solomon.
been to.
Are you telling me we've
it's
missed
your
out
fault,
on all
is it?
these Champions League trophies just because you've not been to certain games
Listen,
all these years?
I was in Cavos. I had things to do.
Too busy trying on all these different outputs on any.
I have not got a tattoo.
What shall I go as today?
I've been working on the car.
Yeah, he's got opens up his specialist cupboard that he's got.
Oh.
His wardrobe. Press
I was
the
gonna
button,
say
it's like
something
down
about-
to a cellar. Yeah.
I take the rubber face mask off every night.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Ethan Hunt from.
You are
Mission
Rudy
Impossible.
Austin.
Right. Let's talk about. Do you predict any changes, James, to the lineup tomorrow? Because we've got Firpo's going to be out, Byram's a doubt, Voba's a doubt, Bogle's a doubt, but subject to late fitness tests. What do you think, mate?
Yeah. You never know, don't you? Do you? Because he said this last time, and then he sort of put players in that we thought were injured. I think there'll be another switch with the wingers. I think it'll be who played the full game? Was it James? Probably Solomon and Nonto this time, won't it? That will play.
Yeah.
Perot will probably start this game because Joseph was a bit pants the other night. Did all right, but he's just so Perot will
Just
probably
young and
play.
inexperienced for me.
Yeah, Aronson will definitely play because he absolutely loves Aronson, so he's definitely going to play Aronson. I don't see Ampadu coming straight back in. There's no need to because the two in midfield are really doing really well. Obviously, the two back. It's the full backs for me. Is he going to start Smith? Wober will play, won't he? And is he going to start Smith if everyone else is injured? I feel a bit sorry for Smith, but
I think it's time.
one of them will probably turn up that we think's injured anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be Firpo.
Yeah,
I think Voba will play. If I'm being honest, if I go through my
Firpo's not
predictions,
out. He's out till Jan.
yeah, Firpo's out till the new year. I think
So
Voba will be the left, and Schmidt on the right, maybe Byron, maybe. What do you think, Jay?
I'm just
I think
hoping
the
that
rest-
Firpo didn't just want to go home for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you're probably right on that, though. It
I think
depends.
the rest of the team picks itself.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Apart from Pirro or Joseph, but yeah.
See, we had this conversation on your pod on Sunday, didn't we?
Mm,
I said I'd start Pirro and then bring Joseph on.
yeah.
Because I think you could see it in the case of in the Borough game where Pirro was, he got the ball and I thought he made an impact straight away. But you could say, that it's 70 minutes, 80 minutes into a game or whatever. But I just feel like Joseph does make them runs. It's like if you start Pirro, you get the stuff that you don't get with Joseph. But if you start Joseph, you don't get the stuff that you get with Pirro. Do you know what I mean? It's just 6 and 2. Catch 22. Sorry,
6 and 2 feet.
Going through,
Yeah,
going through the metaphors in my head.
Do you know what?
It's just
Oh,
6 and
2
7
feet,
8.
yeah. Oof.
We've
them numbers and shit.
We've been saying the same thing since it was the debate between whether to play Bamford or Rodrigo. If you don't pick Bamford, you don't get these qualities. We've been saying this since then. Maybe just pick who your striker's going to be and set your system up to work for that striker. How about that for a revelation?
Or
changing all the bloody time.
Get a striker that is consistent and can do both ends of the game. It might cost a fair bit, but
money.
that's what exactly, and that's what we thought Peru were.
You're not getting that.
And then you had Victor Otto refusing to pay, was it 10, 12 million for Gyökeres from Coventry when he were there? And look at him now, as one of the best players in Europe.
Oh, that's one of football's nice surprises. Piss off, Victor.
Yeah, it's one of them, innit? It's one of them. Yeah, so let's get some predictions then for tomorrow. Yeah. Jay, what's your prediction for tomorrow? And I hope it's a positive one.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Leeds. I don't think it'll be a big one over there because we're dodgy, but I think we will win.
Do you know, I think you're a big sufferer of Leeds TSD, Jay, because you're always mentioning, because, I've got a bad feeling. And I agree with you because I suffer from it as well. And the majority, it's only James that doesn't, because James is always confident. Watch this. James, what's your prediction, mate?
5-0.
See? See? But, that's what we all love about James. He's always confident and, and insane. Yeah, it's the only thing. Just like the Three Kings.
If that comes in now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Exactly, mate.
I said 2-1 like you, Jay, because I do think like we're capable of conceding. But like the Three Kings, bold, some sense, and grr.
That's right.
Yeah, it came to my head. I had to say it.
Fair
Right, yeah. So that's the predictions for
Murrr.
tomorrow. Let's go on to our final segment of the podcast, which is Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Yeah, Top Knob, where we nominate people that have wound us up through the week, or people, things, items, inanimate objects, you name it, we can nominate it. Just if you see the past nomination, you'll be surprised we've been sent to prison. So I'll come to you first, yeah, this week that you want to nominate and throw into the middle.
You know, I can't even think of anything right now. I've gone completely.
What an episode this been.
Come back to me. Come back to me. I've gone completely blank.
What an episode this has been. Connectivity issues with Wi-Fi and brains.
For someone who's quite annoyed a lot of the time, I can't think of anyone I'm annoyed with.
Exactly.
What about Melio? Let's go with him. You really hate him.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who's Top Knob. Top Knob's my fucking postman. He's the Top Knob. This fucker, right? I had 2 deliveries on Wednesday.
Story time.
And I went online and I set both of them, delivered to a post office tomorrow, and I'll collect from the post office because I wasn't going to be in again if they re-delivered it. So one parcel gets took to the post office, the other one he tries to re-deliver, which I then can't set for collection in the app because you no longer can after it's done the second attempt. So I'm thinking, where the hell is this parcel? And then randomly today, he takes it to the post office that was originally nominated, where the other one got delivered yesterday, and I could throttle him. But yeah, he's the top.
Oh yeah, so the Royal Mail is in the
Royal Mail, the Royal
Mail as a whole, because I keep ordering weights, like dumbbells heavier and heavier throughout the week. I don't need them. I just think my postman needs to lose a bit of weight. James, James, who are you nominating, mate? And you can't say Melier. You can. I'm joking.
I won't. I won't say Melio. I will say, Jay, maybe the postman is walking up to your house, sees you in the window, and goes, "He's moved. That's a different person." So,
maybe so.
So he takes it back.
Chris Pratt lives here now.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
That guy from Busted. What's he doing here? Anyway, my Top Knob. I'm in the same. I struggle to think of one, but I'm going to pick Solomon, and not for what you think, guys. It's because he looked really miserable when Aronson bundled that ball over the line. If you watch when he scores, he goes. So, Solomon. Solomon for being miserable.
Yeah, I agree. Who am I gonna see now? It's contagious. We've got in the comments. Well, look at this. Who could have guessed it? We've got this person. I'm not going to say the names for the audio listeners. We've got this person who was probably responsible for reducing the Earth's footprint by 3% or something. Life in general, Einar said. But yeah,
I can get you on that.
He's the Derby keeper for wearing a scrum cap. Oh yes, I'm going to nominate him as well. Go on, Sean. Who do you think he is? Petr Cech, from Wish, Peter, Slovakia.
Peter
Anyway,
Peter Cheek.
Yeah. So I'm going to I'm going to go with Royal Mail actually, because they've done me over a few times as well. So Royal Mail, you are this week's Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Yes, that is sadly the end of the podcast. We have somehow made it through the podcast, so thanks for joining us. But before we go, I want to give a shout out to Einar because it finally happened at the weekend. If you don't know, Einar predicts 3-1 every week, and
nice.
It finally came through. I could not believe it. And he's done it again. So hopefully it'll come thing. Jay, what is going on at Auto Know Better?
Well, you know us.
Shall I ask someone else to tell me? Is
Listen,
your
mate.
brain?
Listen, mate. I'm back on track now. All right.
Here we go. Here we go.
We'll have a BNC, and that'll be after the Preston game. It will probably be Sunday morning, although a few of us may be on the sauce tomorrow night at a Christmas do. So whether anyone's going to be fit for that, I don't know, but that's the loose plan. And then we'll have the main pod Tuesday as usual. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so watch out on their channel. If you don't subscribe, please go do. Great bunch of guys, and they,
Apart from Jay.
apart from Jay, we can't remember anything. So yeah, no, yeah. James, we will be back on Sunday, I believe, with Kev.
We should be, mate.
stuck in
We
traffic.
should be. Yeah, he's still there, isn't he? Sitting in traffic, waiting to come down. Yeah, we should be Sunday night, 7:30. Sunday club, Leeds House, all that jazz. We'll talk about the 5-0 win that we're going to get tomorrow.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. Please do hit that subscribe and like button. It helps us. We are on the road to 1,000. Can you believe it, James? 1,000 already. Yeah. So
It'll come,
Big number for me.
yeah. And a wise man once said,
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, lads. Top notch. Hey up. Bye bye. Have a nice week, lads.
have a nice week. We'll see you next week.
Don't hear
and if
any of
not on Sunday. Ciao.